Hi there, Dr. Sheep here. Welcome back to another TGIF Talks, episode 82. I'm joined by my co-host, Anonymous Phil. I'm joined by my co-host, Anonymous Phil.
Yes, I'm here.
Alright, let's roll the intro. Share my screen. YouTube. Go live.
Wouldn't you like to get away?
It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday.
And they're always glad you came.
These podcasts are broken down into four parts. Jesus. First we have how our weeks have been, followed by the news, followed by your comment, followed by a random fourth topic. Today's random fourth topic is pumpkin chunkin. So today is Wednesday. The podcast is going up on Friday, Black Friday, may I add. And yesterday, for Americans anyways, for the continuity of people watching, was Thanksgiving. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving for us. But in a Thanksgiving tradition is pumpkin chunkin. That's why we're going to talk about it. Also, I think we can outdo them. Phil says no because we don't have engineering degrees, but I said these are rednecks. Moving on. So, Phil, how's your few weeks been?
Oh, I burned my hot dog.
You burned your... That's not a euphemism, is it?
What?
That's not a euphemism,
Sure.
is it?
Yeah, I think my burned hot dog summarizes my week.
You know what a euphemism is, right?
Yeah, it's a soft term used to cover up a harsh one.
So, you know what a burnt hot dog would mean, right?
No? All I know is a euphemism is a term you use instead of using a harsh one.
Right. So, a burnt
And there's
hot
also
dog...
the antonym, which is the opposite, which is a dysphemism. Using a more harsh term. It's like, for example, some people consider a killer whale to be a dysphemism for orca. Because orca is still equivalent to killer whale.
Mm-hmm.
But orca is more, it's a nicer way of saying, without having to say the word killer.
Mm. Well, no, I was just saying burnt hot dog refers to your dick.
Kind of like died and passed away.
I prefer kicked the bucket.
Yes. Bit the dust.
Bit the dust is better. Actually, I have an interesting story behind kicked the bucket and how I learned what that meant.
Oh.
So I was riding the bus, and our bus driver was talking about this guy who had died, and he said he kicked the bucket, and I'm like, what bucket? What are you talking about? I had no idea what he was talking about. I was like in like 4th or 5th grade. I had no idea. And my friend was like...
Yeah, 4th or 5th graders don't really understand sarcasm.
Well,
Or words.
Well, I had never heard the term kicked the bucket used to describe
that's
the
what I'm
guy
saying.
died. Anyways, so my friend, the guy named after the Hazards, that drove the car with the orange car with the Confederate flag, those guys, he was like, Doc, how do you not know? And I'm like, I don't know. And everybody's laughing at me. And I'm like, I don't know what this is. Why is everybody laughing?
Wait, Hazard guy. Who's this Hazard guy?
Dukes of Hazzard. The guy's name is Duke. I was trying to avoid saying that, but now I'm just going to say it. Not that anybody ever knows him or watches this, but whatever.
Oh.
I think his nickname was Dog, but it's whatever. Anyways,
You never gave me a sheet. You never gave me the paper.
That's Kyle's job.
Oh.
Well,
You can print one off too.
I don't have a printer.
Oh.
Look behind me. Do you see a printer here?
What's up to your what?
This thing?
Over. More to the left. More to the left. More to the left. Keep going. Keep going.
This?
Right there.
That's a
No,
jar
over.
of water with paint in it.
Back over to the left.
This?
Up. Right there.
That's a calendar.
Nope. Oh, over to the left.
That?
No. Down.
That?
Over to the left.
That? Hello?
I can't even tell anymore.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. The point, I don't have a printer. It is on my list of things I want to get. I just don't have one.
They're gonna get a super heavy duty one, like you see in like an office.
What do I look like? No, I'm gonna use the thing a few times out of the year. You know, when I print off a script, I'm gonna use it like once a year when we do a short film and I print off scripts.
It's gotta have a high quality photocopier too, right?
A photocopier and scanner would be nice. But anyways.
Actually, a lot of them, at least some of them, are a 4-in-1. They print, copy, scan, and fax.
Well, we don't need fax machines anymore. Plus, I don't want to pay for it. You know, you have to pay to fax.
You do?
Yeah? Wouldn't it just be easier just to scan it and then email?
Yeah.
Anyways. So, right.
That's 21st century fax.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's what we do at work. We scan everything in using the printer, using the copier, and then we email. Once in a while,
You know, actually, this hot dog tastes pretty damn good.
a burnt hot dog. Your burnt hot dog tastes good. That's what
Well,
she
the
said.
skin is burnt. The skin is burnt a little.
That's the whole euphemism is that you burnt your dick. Not that you burnt your dick. Your dick, I'm assuming, got some sort of. There's an actual definition behind the euphemism here. It's like in the Urban Dictionary. I'm pretty sure it refers to some sort of STI. Don't quote me though. Probably something like crabs or herpes or probably herpes.
Chlamydia.
I don't think it's chlamydia or syphilis. Those are about like the 4 big ones. Anyways, point is, moving on.
What about hypogonous syphilis AIDS?
You got issues there, bud. That your hot dog being burnt are the few things you should be worrying about if you have super hypogonous syphilis AIDS. Anyways, gonorrhea. That's the other one I was forgetting. Anyways,
Yeah, Ghana.
I know that reminded me of gonorrhea.
Hepatitis. Gonorrhea.
Oh, I forgot hepatitis. Yeah, so hepatitis.
Oh, that's what I said.
gonorrhea, herpes.
HEPA, Ghana. Did you not listen to the acronym?
AIDS.
HEPA, as in hepatitis, gonorrhea, syphilis, AIDS.
Well,
That's like the main ones.
you forgot herpes
Oh, and herpes, I guess.
and chlamydia.
Chlamydia. Crabs.
Oh, and crabs, yeah. That's 7 diseases right there. Well, AIDS can kind of be subtracted from there. But yeah, there are 6. All vaguely kind of not curable. Kind of. Hepatitis, depending on which one you have and depending on when you catch it, I think it can be cured. Herpes, they're getting very close to a pill. Actually, they might already have one. Syphilis, that can be treated with antibiotics. Chlamydia, that might stick with you for your whole life. Oh, HTC.
Mm-hmm.
HPV. Sorry, HPV, human papillomavirus. There we go. There's another one. But that one just gives you cancer.
What about scabies?
I don't know what that. I've heard of it. I don't know about that one. I don't know if that one's curable.
Or scabies, what they said.
AIDS is not curable at the moment. Wait, did Kyle just tap me? Is he asking? It's a video with no sound, and it's blurry. Oh, he's on the counter! Why?
What?
Your brother was on the counter in your kitchen. I'll wait.
Yeah.
No reaction. Okay. Anyways, so how did we even get on the back to okay? I asked you how your week was, Ben. You said your hot dog was burnt. Is that all you can sum up the week? Hello?
Yeah.
That's it. Just you burnt your hot dog. That's the highlight of your week.
Yeah.
Exciting. Although I can't say it's been like 3 weeks. Nothing's happened. Oh God. Is this what real life's like? 3 weeks of your life fly by like that and we have nothing to show for it?
A burnt hot dog.
A burnt hot dog, yeah. Yeah, that's Oh, you know, I was talking about this year and how this whole year, I don't know about you, but for me, this whole year has felt like it's dragged on. I still can't believe I graduated in freaking May.
Are you kidding me? It felt like it kind of sped up. I can't believe May was so long ago. It's already Thanksgiving.
Well, so for me, only November has gone by fast. Like, I can't believe it's Thanksgiving. I don't know what happened to Halloween. It's just gone.
Exactly, as I said, time has gone by.
Well, just November though. For me anyways. The rest of the year felt like an eternity. Specifically September.
Why?
Well, I don't know. Something about sitting in a lawn chair for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Doing nothing. For 5 weeks.
You were there for the whole month?
I was there for 4.5 weeks. I was not there for all of September. I was not there for all of August. But if you add the time up I was there, it was over a month. 4.5 weeks. I was at the end of my 5th week when I quit. I quit on a Wednesday. They said I can leave on that Wednesday, and so I only got like 4.5 weeks in. I've been at my what?
Things at your current place are great.
Yeah, they're okay. I can't disclose much. Remember?
Well, can't you say if you enjoy it?
Well, yeah. It's just there's things I want to share, but I don't want to share it on the cast. Because I'm starting to think my manager watches more of my videos than I thought. Because I talked to her about a video idea I had. Because she's the only one that knows. So I tell her about these ideas I had. About the Soviet Union one. Have I told you about it? Yeah, I've talked about it. Oh, we're going to have Buck be an American reporter.
If you mention it, I'm not sure what you're referencing.
We're going to have Buck as an American reporter. Talking about Soviet Russia. Well, we have some guys. What?
No, I don't remember this.
Well, anyways.
I don't think you've said it.
So the short film, I've had the idea for years. I've just never gotten to executing it, and I still don't know if we'll get to execute it. Basically, we have an American reporter reporting in Soviet Russia in like 1981 or something. And he, and in the background while he's talking about Russia, you have some people doing things. Funny things, kind of. So, you know, they'll be talking about the agricultural sector, and we'll have people just, like, in the background digging up potatoes while being like driven by like a whip or something.
Oh,
And then we'll have like the industrial sector, and it'll be just guys beating rocks with hammers.
Something tells me you might get flagged for this video.
It's all satire. It's comedy. We're making fun of Soviet Russia. I'm not saying it'll be an actual whip. I'm just saying that it's like, see, the issue I was running into was I was going to be the reporter, but then I realized that I need a big Russian guy, to be the enforcer. And I'm like, well, shoot, I'm the only person who's big enough, in my group, because Buck's not big and Will is a skinny twig, who can actually, pull off a big Russian dude.
Well, right now he is.
Right now, anyways. In the future, but like, I don't want to wait.
So this will have to be after he bulks up. Then we're gonna make a video of him bulking up.
I'm not gonna wait 3 years to make this video, okay? The winters might get, warmer to a point where it won't look like Siberia anymore.
In 3 years?
I
You're
don't...
saying global warming is gonna ruin our winter in 3 years.
Listen, I don't want to be the one who's like, oh yeah.
And then something happens. And then something happens, and we can't film.
Exactly. That's why I'm not saying anything, because in 3 years or whatever, I don't want to know. Plus, Will sucks at acting, so he could pull off.
Something happens, and you can't go.
That comment, that quote, will forever
live
down.
in infamy.
Shame. It's gonna go. It's shameful.
What?
It's shameful. That's what infamy means.
It's shameful.
Yeah.
What's the term that they always use? Like, this will go down as the greatest. I hope there's some term.
I've always tried to figure it out, and I can't remember. I don't think anybody ever, uses it in that way.
Think of infamy as just... obviously, yes, it means bad quality or whatever, but shameful.
Yeah, infamy is incorrect, but it sounds correct.
It does.
Yeah, so... That's just because FDR was just a great guy, everyone wants to quote him, so...
Oh, because you're talking about D-Day, though.
He was talking about Pearl Harbor.
Or Pearl Harbor, whichever one. They're both bad.
Well, one kicked us into World War II. Bad. One ended World War II. You gotta be more specific.
They're both bad.
One started World War II, and one ended it.
Yes, but,
one was a surprise and, an embarrassment.
Well, it depends who you ask when you talk about... It depends who you ask when you talk about the start of World War II. Because some people say it's an invasion of Poland. But other people... Yeah. Other people America, say it started... What?
For America, though, Pearl Harbor was the start of World War II.
Oh, well, I'm not of the war. Well, see, you gotta specify. Are we talking about the whole war, or are we talking about...
D-Day was...
Because some people say even the invasion of Manchuria in 1931 was the start of World War II.
D-Day is even... just D-Day didn't end World War II. The nukes ended World War II. Anyways, I don't even know what the segment was. I don't even know what I'm going to title it, but
antonym of infamy. That's what I should look up.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to call.
What is the antonym?
I don't know what I'm going to call this segment, but It was certainly interesting.
Burnt hot dog.
Burnt. Yeah, that's actually.
My life is like a burnt hot dog.
Well, that's too long. Just saying burnt hot dog is good enough.
No. Wait, could you? The thumbnail should just be a black screen with don't put faces or anything. That just black screen with white print, like big bold white print. Say my day equals, and then next line burnt hot dog.
All right. Let me. So the
And
title.
have like a picture. My day equals burnt hot dog. Yeah, maybe you can have like a picture of a burnt hot dog underneath or something.
So yeah, title first segment is burnt hot dog.
Mm-hmm. Thumbnail.
Wow, this pen, dog, and then wow, this pen is really pissing me off. How can you write for 3 seconds and then stop for 2 seconds later?
Oh, so some antonyms for infamy that could be good for this sentence. Like that line will live on in great admiration, great honor, great appreciation.
Admiration was okay.
Yeah, that was number one.
That was probably the best one. They're all bad. Infamy is just such a good word. That's part of the issue.
Mm-hmm.
My life equals burnt hot dog.
Funny. In. So the opposite of in should be funny. This day will live on in great for me.
Anyways. News segment time. The news. Let's share my screen here. Go live. So I read this article, God. It's probably been over a week now. Oh, that is pumpkin chunkin. Black holes slamming into the moon could end dark matter debate. So I'll explain it to the kids here.
Oh, what about eminence? This day will live on that what?
That works.
That line will live on in great eminence.
That one works. Anyways, back to the news. So basically, what this article is saying that all right, it's a little complicated here. So basically, in the early universe, there were random fluctuations that caused the distribution of matter in the universe, and coincidentally also caused the random distribution of dark matter. In this random distribution, though, parts of it, in theory, got dense enough to form black holes. Now, dark matter, theoretically, interacts similar to matter in that black holes could potentially form. And so, these black holes would then be flying through the early universe, and they would be in quite large groups. And there's a theory that we could use the moon, Mercury, or any other body in the solar system who doesn't have erosion and weather and that kind of stuff. And so basically, because black holes have their different properties compared to like a meteorite, the craters they would leave when they impact the moon, for example, would be different. And so we'd be able to figure out which craters look close enough to what a black hole impact would look like. Also, we could look for exit wounds, because these black holes would go straight through the moon. They wouldn't get stuck like a meteorite. or a meteorite gets obliterated, these don't get obliterated. Anyways, so you can look for exit wounds, also just looking for the entrance wounds, and basically you would use an algorithm to scan the moon to look for these craters, and then when manned missions become more feasible, so in the late 2020s, you would send astronauts to these craters to confirm that these craters were in fact made by black holes. Once you've confirmed that, then we can now look at the sizes of them. We know what a given size of a black hole can be. We know the smallest size that a black hole can be made of regular matter. However, it's theorized that dark matter, if it has protons, the protons of dark matter would be heavier than that of protons of regular matter. And therefore, these black holes made from dark matter, which would interact just like regular black holes, would leave smaller craters because they're smaller. And so we would look for these anomalies, and these would be kind of like fingerprints as to hinting at the fact that dark matter may in fact exist. So it's just an interesting idea that we could use it. Criticism is that, well, the moon isn't that old compared to the universe. So it's like, what are the odds that there were enough black holes flying through the early solar system that would be able to find these craters? Which is also why they talked about using here they're talking about the different craters and what they would look like. Here's a regular crater. Here's one left by a black hole. Anyways, so they talk about a trip to the moon. To bolster their theory, they need to go to the moon. Anyways, so do you? I mean, I know you didn't have time to really read this article.
No.
But do you think this is a valid way to search for dark matter, or I guess fingerprints of dark matter, anyways?
So what I know, I've never heard of them. Well,
I mean, provided that there are enough, that these micro black holes, there were enough of them in the early universe to do, I mean, not in the early universe, but just when the moon was formed and no longer molten, that there were enough of them that we can find craters today, billions of years later.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm skeptical of, because, like, yes, the moon is, 4 billion years old? But the universe is 13 billion years old. You telling me in the last 4 billion years, the density of micro black holes has decreased so much so in the last 4 billion years compared to the first, 6, 9 billion years? 8 billion. Sorry, my math was wrong. In the first 8 billion years, I don't know. I find that's what my issue is with that. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I just don't know enough about this subject to give an opinion.
Fair enough, yeah. What I thought was kind of funny, and we can make comments on this, is that, like, they talked about these craters being, like, the size of, like, I think, like, a meter across or something. And, and I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, can you imagine you're just walking around on Earth one day, and just poof, you're just a splotch of blood and a puff of smoke, and there's a small little crater left behind you because you got hit by a micro black hole.
Wait. The micro black hole leaves a meter-sized crater?
Yeah. Well, in a non-atmosphere. In an atmosphere, surprisingly, even though these things are smaller than an atom, they still get slowed down by air resistance, surprisingly.
Wow. Micro black hole leaves a meter?
What?
Kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they're traveling stupidly fast, these things.
No, but like it's. I mean,
It's a lot of energy.
I don't know. Part of me just thinks that it'd be like punching a hole in paper, right? Like it's just like this tiny little hole.
That's what I thought.
You know what I mean?
How are you going to find these holes? But they're like, there's so much energy in this reaction because it's a solid clump that can't deform, that it does make a visible crater. Just because it doesn't, if you had a meteorite that big, it wouldn't make it traveling at that speed. It wouldn't do much because it deforms. But these black holes don't deform, which is why this is how they're gonna be able to find them, is because the characteristics of the crater plus there's exit wounds, they're different. They look different.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was just imagine walking around, right?
Yeah.
And you just get hit by a micro black hole, and you're just dead, just disintegrated.
Yeah.
Just a puff of mist with a crater. Like your guy and your friend walking next, just like, what just happened to Phil? He's just gone with a crater.
He's gone.
Just gone. It's like, oh, he got hit by a micro black hole. Oh, what?
Oh well, we're getting along just fine without him. Doesn't change my life any.
You're the one who died.
No, but that's what they'd say.
Oh, you think your friends value you that little?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's less.
I mean, I certainly would be very depressed because I don't know who would host the podcast with me as well as you do.
Oh please! If I'm the only one who hosts it with you, it can't be that hard they can't be that hard to find someone other than me.
We've talked about this.
I set the bar quite low.
We've talked about this. I mean, you're the only person besides Outback
that you bother to reach out to.
Listen, I'm sure there are other people who
Would do a
smarter
much
than us who would do just as well on this podcast as you and I. The issue is, can they laugh at a guy being turned into a puff of steam by a micro black hole?
Everyone has an inner dark sense of humor.
Yeah, but
They just
also,
need
can they go on a 5-minute tangent about STIs?
Sure, why not?
Tell you what, we'll host auditions, and they'll be in the event Phil is hit by a micro black hole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you need to start preparing.
You plan to get hit by a micro black hole in the next few years?
I mean, it could happen sooner than that.
Some people disappear without a trace. Maybe it's not because they were kidnapped and thrown in the bottom of the ocean. No. Maybe it's because they got hit by a micro black hole.
Or we just live in a simulation and their life just instantly just flickered to zeros.
That's about the equivalent of a micro black hole, to be fair.
Yeah, but I'm saying like they just vaporize, like no hole, no puff of smoke, like
Oh.
Just gone.
But
Like, as if they weren't even there.
But the blood steam.
No, like, there's nothing. Like, it's like, they're standing right behind you, right beside you, and all of a sudden just, gone.
That'd be
And
spooky.
it's like, what?
That'd be spooky.
Yeah.
Just somebody.
Can you imagine if you caught that on film?
No one would believe you ever. They think you faked it.
Exactly. But see, the thing is that it looked as if it was faked, which is how scary that would be to be there.
Actually, I mean, you would show people that video, and they'd go looking for the guy that disappeared, and think you murdered him. Because his last known origins were in that video.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's just gone.
Your best case scenario is that you're going to go literally insane, obsessed about this video, because you're the only person that believes in the entire justice system anyways. I'm sure there will be other people. I'm sure you can gather an occult following.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we live in that age where people somehow believe vaccines give you autism, but whatever. Point is, that there'd be nobody in the justice system believe you, so you'd literally just go insane, and hopefully that instead of, you know, being put on death row or at least being tried for murder, you'd just be plead insanity and get to sit out the rest of your days in a mental hospital. Even though, I mean, I honestly, I should probably drive anybody insane, watching somebody just disappear like that. Oh. Wow, that's a scary topic to think about. Damn. Hello?
Yeah.
That's scarier than the micro black hole. He's the micro black hole. There's a possibility that there's a heaven. And that you might go to heaven.
But see...
And the simulation.
But see, the thing is that... How could they try you for murder if there's no evidence? Because you're always innocent until proven guilty.
You don't have an alibi.
Yeah, but there's no proof beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty.
I wouldn't say...
There's no evidence.
But there's
So you
no
have no
evidence
proof
to
of it.
support that you didn't do it either.
Yes, but you're innocent to start out with, though. If you're always innocent to be
True.
proven guilty, how could they show any evidence that you're guilty?
I think it would literally just come down to the jury.
But they have no evidence to back their claim on.
Yeah, but you ever just wanted to?
So there's no proof.
But you
beyond a
ever
reasonable
just
doubt that you're
get
innocent.
that you know when a guy cuts you off on the interstate or something, and you're just like, screw that guy. I hope his family burns. You ever get that feeling? Every human being.
I'm not going to comment on that.
Every human being on the face of the planet, unless they literally have a part of their brain that's been damaged, has had that thought. All right?
Yes, but it's one thing to think it, and it's another thing to follow through. Those are
Well,
two
no,
totally separate
that's what
ballgames.
I'm saying. Now you're on the jury. Now it's like, no one's going to know.
No one's going to know what.
I'll vote. The guy did it. I mean, you have a point. I mean, your life's over. You're going to go insane. But truth be told, I mean, they could. You make a good point. You make a very good point. I just feel
You're
like.
innocent. How can you be proven guilty?
I mean,
You need proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
I mean, there's been a lot of people there are a lot of innocent people in prison, Phil.
Well, yeah, but probably because they get accused for the wrong evidence. The evidence seems to point in their direction.
What's
Because there is evidence. But I'm saying if there's no evidence,
I mean,
you
what's
can't
to
point
say
in
that they won't just make evidence?
What?
What's to say they just won't make evidence? I mean, they do it
Out of
now.
what?
They do it now.
Make evidence from what?
They make it up. Because they want to see people, they want to see these people in prison because the system is corrupt. If Kyle was here, he'd agree with me.
No, I'm not saying that they can't. I'm saying how can they make up evidence? Because they have nothing to use.
They have the video, and that you're the last person in the entire world to see him alive. That's
Well, I was okay. Well, the video I was imagining, like you're working with the guy, at work, like let's say in the middle of a grocery store, in the middle of an aisle.
Oh, so
No,
you're
I'm
saying
saying
there's
there's-
also other... Okay, yeah, and
Yes, that's the video I had in my mind.
Oh,
What video did you have in your mind?
you're out.
I had a video that it's like a grocery store. You're working, stocking shelves. You have the guy next to you that you're helping, and then all of a sudden he just disappears. That's the video I had in my mind. What video did you have in your mind?
Oh, we're like out in the woods or out on the plains of Nebraska.
Oh, who would be filming that though?
We filmed ourselves at the minus 100th parallel, latitude.
No, I'm saying that's not what I had. That's not the video I had in my mind.
We could have easily have been in the middle of nowhere. We didn't have to be on a highway. And I'm taking a video of you on the 100th parallel, and you just go, boop. Out of the
Yes, but I think it's two totally separate things to murder someone
Oh yeah.
and report it. Because people who murder someone don't want anyone to find out.
Yeah, but
Why would you report it?
The issue, but here's the thing, though. You're gonna
See,
come
that
back
almost-
from
see
this
that
trip.
that's a.
But no,
that's- see,
here's your issue,
no.
though. If you don't say something, people are gonna get suspicious.
No. Because here's here's the whole thing, though, right? It's the most riskiest move in the world because if you murder someone, if you report it, it's almost a way to get them off your backs as a suspect. Because yes, you were there, so yes, you kind of are their suspect. But at the same time, it's like you wouldn't want anyone to know about the whole incident. You want it to appear as if they disappeared without a trace, and it went on as if no one really cared.
Right. But in this situation,
And so it seems to me that if you murder someone, you would not report it. But if you do, then it's like, oh, he kind of cares.
But in this situation, though, whether you report it or not, people are going to get suspicious. You were the last person that was with that was with that person before they disappeared.
Yes, but my point is, I don't know how you could. If there's no evidence to go off of, I don't know how they could possibly make evidence.
I mean, a lot of bodies have never been found. I mean, okay, think about this. Okay, a guy comes, there was an influencer who just got killed by their husband on a cross-country trip out in the mountains. He came back, and people are like, "Hey, where's I don't know her name. Let's call her Stacy. Hey, where's Stacy?" And he's like, "What do you mean, where's Stacy?" They're like, "She was with you on the trip. Where's Stacy?" Well, in this case, they found a body. But a lot of murder cases, they don't find a body. You were the last person to see her. Sure, there might not be any other evidence other than the fact that you were the last person to see her. And you can deny to your grave that I didn't murder her. But you were the last person to see her. And there's no body. She's just gone. Third segment time. Sorry about that. Phil's roommate came to talk to him. No big deal. We're just gonna finish the murder discussion. Just that again, if you were the last person to see somebody and they mysteriously disappeared, you're gonna be probably tried with murder. Not that they were probably going to be able to convict you because there's no evidence other than the fact that you last supposed to see them. Who knows? You'd have to ask, a jury. Anyways, news segment time. Your comment. Ahem. The 420 subscriber special, which is funny because it made us lose a subscriber, but nevertheless.
Actually looking it up. So I typed it in. It is very, very, very difficult to convict someone for murder if there's no body.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Very, very, very difficult.
Fair enough.
And so, I mean, while there may be a trial, you'll probably get off. Because, once again, there's no evidence.
Yeah, there's no body. Yeah.
But, I mean, like, one, there's no body, but, like, there's no knife, there's no nothing. There's no other evidence that could suggest something happened.
You might never be able. Your family members may never be able to look you again in the eye and see you as the same person. Because you know how people are. Sure, yeah, the court system may say you're innocent. That's kind of like O.J. Simpson. Yeah, sure. I mean, technically, he was convicted of murder in a civil case, but even if he hadn't, people would still think he murdered his wife.
What? Oh, so I looked it up, right? So there was a case in 1660. A local man had vanished, and after the investigation, 3 individuals were hanged for this man's murder.
Jesus.
2 years later, they hanged him for his murder. I mean, that's what they did things back in the 1600s. Well, 2 years later, after this whole conviction took place, the man came back.
What?
Because he had been enslaved and abducted in Turkey, and he came back, and they were like, "What? Where'd you come from?"
Uh-oh.
So 3 guys were hanged for this guy's supposed murder, hung for his supposed murder, and he was alive the whole time he came back.
Remember how I said there's a lot of people that go to prison because they're innocent?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is also, a long time ago.
True. This is both.
Here's a forum. Let's see what they say on the forum.
Well, anyways, I'm going to read the comments. The 420 subscriber special, the water bottle commented, incredible work. Thank you. I thought it was pretty good. Have you watched it yet? Hello?
No. Wait, wasn't it there?
Well, yeah, but I mean, have you seen what it actually turned out to be?
No.
You gotta watch it. It's pretty funny. Anyways, okay, yeah. Minecraft Bedrock Let's Play Pilot. Team Denzier commented, "Dang, a Bedrock series, let's go." I might have read that last time. Oh, yeah, I did. So why did... Okay. Minecraft Bedrock Let's Play Pilot. The water bottle commented, "Wow, the 2 wolves killed the fox was depressing." Yeah, I didn't know I didn't know wolves killed foxes in Minecraft, but that was a scarring event to watch. It's almost as similar as a person disappearing in midair in front of you. Anyways, the Common House. Bedrock Let's Play number 2. The water bottle commented, "The water glitch is annoying. Bedrock, step it up." Yeah, I'm playing on this world, and there's a glitch where if you jump into the water, you can't get back out. Easily, anyways. There are ways, but yeah, it's a very scary glitch because you think you're gonna get stuck there. Anyways, let's build a Minecraft 19. This was a live stream I just did. Team Denzier commented, "I missed it, sadly, due to I was on the road." Well, he did end up catching Let's Build 20, so. Anyways, those are all the comments from the past, almost 3 weeks at this point. So, yeah. That is it. So, yeah. Future of the channel. So, Phil and I were discussing some podcast potential rescheduling. I don't know, because the thing is, I don't want to read. I don't want to change things, and then Will just says nope. You know what I mean?
Hmm?
You know, I don't want to like reschedule our whole lives, and then Will is just like nope.
Yeah.
That's literally what would happen. I mean, just look at today. Will and Kyle were supposed to join us. I don't know what happened to
Well,
Kyle.
the man just seems to get a calendar.
Will or
I
Kyle?
feel like, well, if Will had a calendar, then he could just mark things down. You know?
Even then, he doesn't. He forget to mark things down.
You just send him a reminder.
It doesn't matter. The issue is he doesn't
Wait, doesn't
tell
he read
me.
your email? Send him an email.
Well, well, he does. The issue is like he doesn't remember the stuff that my dad tells him.
Which is why he needs a calendar.
Right, but he wouldn't write the stuff down my dad told him.
It's just a habit he should get into.
All
I
right.
feel like if
have you tried teaching a teenager habits?
What?
Have you tried to get a teenager to start good habits?
I don't have a teenager.
Okay, well, there's your first issue.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me have a kid. Wait 13 years so I can answer your
I'll
question.
get back to
I'll get back to you. in
I'll
13
get back to you
years.
in 13 years.
Plus the time it takes me to find someone.
I mean, just donate your sperm.
I could wait too.
Just go find a nice lesbian couple.
Yeah, okay. Either way, give me 13 years. And then I can tell you
I'll get back to that.
how difficult it is.
Well, you could just ask our aunt Sunday.
Well, yeah, she's, what, 14?
13. Oh, no, she's
but
14.
women
Yeah,
are
she can
good-
drive.
I feel like women are better at keeping track of dates.
Oh. This is... Yeah. I mean,
You're
women are
comparing
better...
13-year-old males and 13-year-old girls. I feel like girls are naturally better at remembering dates and things they want to attend.
Well, you know, this is on my brain, and the issue is it's hard to discuss it because a lot of people look at it as sexist. But, okay, all right, that's a terrible way to start a conversation and to start a topic, but it legitimately, it's just anytime you open your mouth about this kind of stuff, people are just like, oh, you're sexist. It's like, let me finish my thought, you know? Anyways, so I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about the evolution of women in the workplace and women pursuing STEM fields and higher degrees. There's actually
Yes, there should be more of that.
in some places there are more women with higher degrees than men. However,
Yes.
that
Well, I don't care who does the job as long as they have great ambitions and they're willing to suggest new ideas, creative ideas.
right. So
I'm
anyways,
very welcome into that.
so it harks back to, are men... So the question is, are men getting lazier? Or have men always been this lazy, and the bar was just set so low that we never noticed? And now we're noticing
I would not be
because
surprised if
women
that's the reason.
are just showing up and just like, you know, it's like, you wrote something down? Who does that? Right? I don't know if that's...
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an interesting question, but nobody wants to talk about it or think about it because they think it's sexist. But it's not. I legitimately want to know. Yes,
Know
the
what?
system was like rigged against women,
Oh, my
as
boy
women in
works.
education, what?
Oh, well, I put the rest of my stuff, my leftovers, in the plastic bowl. And it's like warped underneath.
That happens. It's a little warm.
I know.
No big deal. It's that
No,
plastic.
I know. I was saying I never noticed until now.
But anyways, so my question, I'd love to go and look back at women pursuing higher degrees in the past. I'd love to see comparative to the other men, were they more organized or
Oh, I would not be surprised. Yes.
right? Why are women? So then the next question is, why are women more organized potentially?
Well, I suppose.
Is it because the system made them become more organized? Because a secretary role was traditionally a woman. I don't care who the hell my secretary is. It could be a monkey for all I care.
Let me talk. That is one possibility. What I was thinking is, I was trying to go back to like the roots,
Oh yeah.
hunter and gathering days, right?
Oh yeah.
In those days, women were in charge of the household, watching after the kids and everything, as well as some minor farming roles, collection and organizing, making sure that there's enough food or whatever for everyone.
Right.
So men would go out there and hunt and
Did you
bring
mean
everything
women
back.
before? You said men were in charge of how much food, the household, the children. Did you mean women? I think you said men.
I thought I said women, but
Oh.
yes, that's what I meant. Women were in charge of
Okay.
the household. Unless you didn't hear the women part. Anyways, yes, women would be in charge of the household. Probably minor gathering roles, farming and stuff. And so they had a lot of things to keep track of. Making sure that there's enough food to go around, that they're getting enough supplies. And then if they didn't, it'd be the man's job to go out and hunt more and bring it back.
Yeah.
And so naturally, they had
yeah.
to be in charge. And so naturally, they did have an important role in making sure that everything is organized.
That's so weird. I just thought about that. So let's look at the 1950s, okay? And let's look at the role of men and women in the household. Men expected women to go out and, get food from the grocery store, make sure everybody gets fed, and all
the man did
was get money
just-
so that
was
would
just-
happen.
was just get the money so things could happen.
So
It'd be the women's job to make things happen.
So I loved
And
it.
so
how,
naturally,
so men got lazier.
Naturally,
Look
in
at
order
this.
Hang on. And so naturally, to ensure those tasks were getting done, they had to be organized.
Mhm.
They had to have a methodology of keeping things straight in their mind, of everything that needed to be done. And so naturally, their brains developed in such a way to be more organized from birth. I don't. I mean, I'm not a neurologist or anything, but I would be curious to know if there's some different makeup or whatever that, like, if there's some different pathways or whatever that they're forming, and they've just been practicing and working on that same pathway their entire life. From adolescence.
Did you ever
through
watch?
adulthood.
Did you?
Working on those areas of the brain to become very good, say, multitaskers and keeping a lot of things detailed and informative so they could relay those messages to others.
Did you ever?
But the man, all he did was just gather in a sense, or hunt and gather in a sense.
Did you notice how men got lazier in that narrative?
Well, I think it's always been that way.
Yeah.
I mean, the role of the leader. The role of the leader is to minimize the amount of work they need to do. Everyone wants to be. Well, I'm not saying everyone. It's a very strong word. I'm saying I think it's almost a sense of human nature, at least for the man, to want to be lazy and not have to do a lot of work. No one wants to expend more energy than they have to.
So, I mean, if we look outside of, well, yeah, if we look outside of human society, males in nature are pretty much worthless. What's specifically
People want to do things.
male bees, male ants, bulls, actually, if we're looking at cattle, they're kind of useless. They get fat. Yeah, sure, they are stronger than the cows, but like, you know, there's not that, you don't need that many of them. So it's like, the thing is, it's like, there's still gonna be more cows than bulls to protect the herd anyways.
But I wonder if you could still take it back to the primitive roots, where it was the male's job to be the protector. So naturally, they're going to want to conserve their energy, so that way, in the event of danger, they're fully charged. You know what I mean?
Maybe, I don't know. Did you ever
And
watch?
if there's no danger, and so obviously, if you're minimizing the amount of work you need to do and expending less energy, then you can be fully charged and ready to explode when you need it. But if there's no danger, and you still have that natural instinct to want to find things to minimize the amount of work you need to do, well, then naturally you'd be lazy all the time if there's no danger.
Efficiency. Did you ever watch the brain games, the sex games?
Possibly.
They had, I think every season, at least every season, or maybe even other, they always had a battle of the sexes.
I mean, I couldn't name an episode off the top of my head, but it.
But anyways, I remember, and they always drew the same conclusion that men and women's brains were the same. It was just men were better at certain tasks and women were better at other tasks. For one thing, one of them sticks out is packing a car. Men were way better at packing a car than women. But
really?
when it came to remembering faces, women destroyed men. It was embarrassing how bad men were at remembering faces.
Oh, I wonder. So me just kind of thinking through this, right? Women want to focus on a lot of details, making sure they get every little detail. I mean, I don't know, I'm just trying to throw this out there, right? I mean, I could be just totally wrong. I'm just throwing a shot in the dark here, but maybe it's women are focusing too much on all the minor details and getting everything right. Like the details in the face. Maybe there's something that really sticks out to help them identify something, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone looks different, which is why you can tell two people apart. Obviously, twins would be much more difficult, but there's always something that allows you to distinguish even twins. And obviously, the parents, can tell something. Maybe it's their attitude or the way they part their hair or whatever. There's always some minor difference, and I feel like women are quick to point that out because they can focus on all the minor details very quickly. But take something like the trunk of a car, right? If it's fully packed to the rim, and then I have to unload it or whatever, right? Well, naturally, the woman's going to be so focused in almost maybe the sense of overwhelmed.
It wasn't unpacking, it was packing.
Because I've seen two things. I've seen one where it's like it was packed, they had to unpack it, and then put it back in.
Oh, maybe that's what they did, yeah.
Because I've seen two. Maybe it's also they had it already unpacked and they put it in, or maybe it was they saw it packed, they were blindfolded, someone unpacked it, and then they put it all back in. I don't know. But my point is, looking and trying to find all these fine details, right? You almost sense overloading yourself with so much input that can make it stressful. Whereas the man will just try to generalize things and find the easiest way, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to look at it and be like, all right, bigger stuff on bottom, smaller stuff on top. All right, let's go. Let's do this.
Well, actually.
So when you go to pack in the trunk, right, you pack the larger items that are more square-like, that look like they can pack together neatly. put those in first, build the foundation, and then all your odd items that look like they can be like patched, pushed together, put those sorts at top. And they sort of make these generalizations in their mind
But
to
that's
find the
not.
quickest way possible.
But that's not why men were better though at packing the
Oh,
car.
well, I know I was probably wrong. What was the reason?
So it goes back to hunters and gatherers. So men had to have a better lay of the land. They had to understand like landmarks so they could find their way home.
Yeah.
And they had to understand how the land looked.
Spatial awareness.
And yes, and so men's spatial awareness is so much better because women didn't have to do that. And that's why women were better with faces, because they interacted socially. Because they were in charge of child rearing, which is a social thing. You need to have good social senses. That's why women are good with faces, but they're bad because it was just bred out, over time. A woman that hunts wasn't as useful, and a man with good children wasn't as useful. Nowadays, it doesn't matter, but back then it wasn't.
But see,
as useful.
the thing is, this goes kind of back to more neurology side, right? I want to know what aspects, maybe you have to go down to the neuron to know why it is. Can you explain physically what is a physical difference in the makeup of the brain that allows certain thinkings and thought processes to take place, right?
I don't think we figured that out quite yet. We know what regions do what.
Because I've always, the question that I've really been curious, right, is can you look at a brain, a specific neuron, and know what a memory is by looking at it? Because obviously, this basically answers the question, are memories physical? Because if they are, that means I can look at a neuron, right?
We're just not there yet.
I can tell you exactly what that memory is, what happened, who was there, all these different things, just by looking at a neuron, right, where the memory is stored.
I'm pretty sure the brain. So we have the main regions, and then I think they're subdivided after that, and then I think that's about as far as they go. I don't think we're granular enough to go much further than that.
Well, it'd be really cool, though. I mean, it'd probably be kind of freaking. I'm sure it'd probably break a lot of morals, but if you could then make an algorithm, like an AI, that could think like you.
So? Well, I mean, we're going to do it. It's going to happen.
That'd be crazy. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're getting to that level of AI. Where,
we don't have AI that thinks like people. We have AI that thinks like AI. An AI that thinks like a person is on a completely different trajectory.
No. Have you heard of GPT-3?
No.
What is that? It's like generative pre-training or something. You should look it up after this. But
well, either way, we don't want. I mean, maybe we do want an AI that thinks like a human.
It's called generative pre-trained transformer 3. And it's an AI. Basically what it is you give it all this input and you give it the output, right? And the idea is that if you give it all this input and what this input should equal, if you gave it a new input, something completely new that's still related to it, it should give a new output based off of all the pre-things. Like say
you taught it how to make inferences and how to
taught it how to solve problems. So basically,
you've made a robot as smart as a 9th grader in reading.
Basically, like, let's say I have the equation 3x equals 9 or whatever, right? Or
right. But
let's say I give it the equation 3x equals y, right?
You've made a 9th grader.
But I don't tell it that, right? I tell 3 times 1 equals 3, 3 times 2. And then you have it just go through and you get so many odd number of cases, right? And then I sit and I tell it, what should 3 times 14 be, right? Given the pattern of how to solve the problem, like you're not telling it how to solve the problem.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Given this input, what the output. This is what the output is. Can it recognize patterns? So
Again,
basically, it's almost like it's an intelligent pattern recognizer.
again,
So it's gonna
you
try to
made a
find
ninth
patterns.
grader in reading.
But my point is though.
Actually, eighth grade.
My point is though, right? Is that take it to human level, right?
I just said that.
Solve
You
the
made an
problem.
eighth grader.
No, you're not listening. I'm not saying what level you're at. I'm saying this is how a person thinks, right?
Yes, I
You're
know
saying,
that's how
give
a
it
person
pattern of how they
thinks. That's why I'm
solve
trying to. But you won't let me finish.
I'm so, oh, I was still talking, but go ahead, interrupt. Go on. What was you trying to say?
You've made an eighth grader. In eighth grade, you're taught how to make inferences. You're taught how to read read a story and infer what the heck it means. Look for context.
Yes.
I mean, you're taught context clues before that, but
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
forgets context clues. I don't know how they. Whatever. Point is,
Where are you going with
and
this?
that's what the robot does. You've taught the robot how to use context clues. No robot can do that before because, well, that's not how they worked. You told a
why
robot
is it
A is
limited to
equal
only
to
A?
B, and that's it. You didn't tell a robot if A is equal to B, then what is A? But what is A? You get if like A plus B equals C, then what's A plus A? And if A plus A equals, let's say, B, so then you've taught it algebra. But you're not.
Why is this only limited to eighth graders?
Because that's when they teach it to you. In ninth grade, they don't teach that to you anymore.
No. I'm saying, although that's how I'm describing it, right? I'm describing it as an eighth grade level to make it simple to understand. That doesn't mean it's limited to an eighth grade intelligence.
Well, no, I'm just saying though you've taught what you teach an eighth grader,
I'm telling you,
which
now
is
it's equivalent to what an
impressive
eighth
for a
grader should.
robot.
What?
Which is impressive for an AI.
Why? No, I don't think so. I mean,
No,
sure, it's
I
impressive,
think it's impressive.
but
because,
I think it's just the beginning.
because
I think it's
think
just the
about it.
beginning.
It's especially because the whole reason why we don't want a robot that thinks like people is because we build things for specializations. That's why we don't build bipedal robots or quadrupedal robots, because humanoid robots just don't work. They're impractical. It's a lot of energy to be bipedal. They just don't work. When quadrupedal or tracks or tires or flying, hell even, is so much more efficient than bipedalism. And you build a robot specific to a task. That's what we've been doing with AI, is you build it specific to a task. That's why I'm sure there's other reasons that we want an AI that thinks like people, but at the same time,
Well, yeah, they're quicker at solving problems.
right? But do we want them to be able to? So the issue then becomes: do we want them to be able to act on the problems that they solved?
Why not?
What do you mean? Why not? What if they come?
Well,
to the
give me a reason.
Do I have to quote Hollywood now?
Well, that's more of a movie aspect. I mean, who's to say they have an ability to overtake the systems at all?
Well, you just said what's wrong with it acting on it. Okay.
No,
Like right now,
I'm
if
saying
we read
acting
the
like
news,
humans.
right now, if we read the
No,
news,
okay, no. There's a problem in what I interpreted. You said acting on input. I was just saying acting like humans. Those are two different things here. Two different things here, right? Acting on
I was
input,
saying
acting
like
humans.
he came up with a solution and then went and did it.
Yeah, two different things here, right?
Okay, you're acting as if he's like acting out how to solve a problem like a human. Not that when he got this. See, I was talking about actually acting on his solution he came up with. That's what I was talking about.
It's like saying you have a brain but no arms and legs. That's essentially what you have here. If you have a brain but no arms and legs, you can't do anything, right? All the AI is just brain.
All right. Let's go back then to my question. Do you want it to be able to act on its solutions?
Oh, no, that's not its job. That's not what we intend for it to do, at least not right now.
But would
We
you
just want it to
ever
be a good
want
problem
it to be
solver.
able to?
What?
That's the thing. People want it to be able, because what if it's like, I don't know, it's predicting a server fire or something, okay?
Yeah, it makes predictions. That's what you want.
Well, no. But what if its prediction comes at the point where it's like, if it doesn't do something, it's imminent. Like, it's going to happen unless it does something, unless it does now. There's not enough time to tell people, like, hey, there's going to be a server fire. Go do this thing. There's not enough time for that.
Yes, but I think the question is
Do you let it
no,
act
no, no,
on
no,
it?
no, 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 hang on. Is doesn't AI have a theory of consciousness? Because sure it could tell you, oh yeah, there's gonna be a server fire, right? But if it does not have a theory of consciousness and a theory of mind, then it would not be able to know how that impacts it, and it would. I mean, sure, it could come up with the probability. That means like I'm done. But
Well,
to
no,
it,
it's.
if
I
it
was
does
just
not have a
using
if it
server
does not have
fire
a
as an
theory of consciousness,
example.
that means nothing. It means nothing in terms of its life.
Server fire was just an example. I'm saying is you develop an AI that can think like a person, okay? And you put it in charge of detecting civil unrest in developing countries, okay? I talked to
Mm-hmm.
somebody, they're wanting to develop something like this. The question is, okay, I guess I have to quote movies here. We do need to move on, but I'll just but this is a good this is a good conversation. God. Anyways, do you remember in uh Winter Soldier, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the helicarriers and how they were, I'm pretty sure, a similar concept. They were going to use algorithms essentially to predict when this
Hydra.
Hydra was going to use algorithms, or Shield was going to use algorithms before Hydra took it over. Shield was going to use algorithms to predict when civil unrest was going to happen, and then they were going to use the
Mm-hmm.
helicarriers to snuff it out,
Neutralize them.
to
Neutralize the
neutralize the
population. Yes.
threats.
Mm-hmm.
Question is, so in the news recently,
Kind of a euphemism.
well,
Neutralize is a
well,
euphemism.
anyways,
We're gonna
in
neutralize or depopulate the area.
anyways, I can't. You're trying to make a joke here,
Yeah, we were
man.
talking about euphemisms earlier.
I know, but I am trying to get to a
Depopulate the
point
area.
here. So in the news recently, uh, China has been pissed. And usually, I mean, this could just because it's American news. I don't know. Maybe if you read from a third perspective, maybe everybody involved looks bad. But from the perspective of the news currently as it is, China is just pissed because they're taking what the US says and saying the wrong thing. So as an algorithm, I'm going to be like, "Oh, that person who said, or this group of people, the Chinese government, is going out and spreading false information. They're going to cause World War III. I need to snuff that out."
Okay.
And they're like, "Well, Jesus, this needs to happen now." Because, they keep spouting out this fake information, and it's riling up 1.4 billion people. That's a dangerous situation. That needs to be released now. I'm not going to worry about telling people until it's over. Well, now you've started World War III anyways because you killed the because you killed the leaders of China. Even though they weren't actually going to cause World War III, we don't know this, but they don't have it. Let's assume China doesn't want to start World War III. Now you've gone and killed them. Now they have a reason to start World War III. So, is an AI like that, is it useful to a point where, do we want an AI like that? Do you want it to be able to come to those conclusions and just be like, yeah, I'm going to do that. We should just do that. Just go take them out. Right now. Hello? Hello?
I'm thinking. Well, no, wait. So you're talking about Hydra, right?
Well, I transitioned to real world
No. But see, that's the whole thing, though, right? You gave you gave the brain arms and legs.
Right. Well,
I'm
I'm not
saying you just give it a
interested in
brain.
just. I'm not interested in just the brain. Obviously, a brain can't do anything if it doesn't have arms and legs. But in some circumstances,
Oh, we can still tell you. No, right. Hang on. So in Hydra, right? They give it a brain that would print out this almost say death sheet of people that
a
should
Death
be
Note.
killed.
Have you seen?
Because,
Do you know the plot of Death Note?
no.
There's a notebook that if you write somebody's name in it, they die.
Sure. Okay. How
So,
did Death
so,
Note of
so
these
it
people
prints
that should
out
be
the Death Note. I'm just trying to
so people that
equate it
should be
out so
dead,
people
right?
understand, because people understand Death Note.
But I don't. I didn't even understand that. That's why I was going to use the term.
More people understand it, but go on. Yes, go on.
Okay, I'm saying it puts out a sheet of people that it thinks should be killed, right?
Right.
That's what Hydra does. That's the brain. Because it ran through its algorithm, it knows every single person.
Go on. It prints
Now,
out the
what I'm
sheet.
saying, yes, it prints out the sheet, right? Because Hydra has arms and legs, it can now take action upon it. And, well, get rid of the people, neutralize it, okay? If it did not have arms and legs, it would just simply print out a sheet of saying, these people should be killed, here's why.
Okay.
So effectively, it did nothing wrong. All it is saying, hey, here's your watch list. Watch out for these suspects. They haven't done anything yet, but here's their thought patterns that I've noticed over the generations. I've been watching these people since they were 3 years old. These are the things they have in common with serial killers. They're at 15 years old right now.
Yeah.
These are what they're doing right now. Sure, it's nothing bad. Sure,
Yes.
just look at it. It's nothing bad. But, it's saying I'm noticing a correlation here with the serial killer. Watch out for them. If it has no arms and legs, it can't do anything wrong.
Right. However,
And so that's
would
what
it
I'm
be
saying.
better for
That's
it
what I'm
to
saying.
have
So if
arms
an
and
AI
legs than to not? I guess that's the
That's
real
what I'm saying.
question.
Don't give it arms and legs. That's what I'm saying. Don't give it arms and legs.
But
I'm saying
would
just
it be
have an AI
more
just as a brain.
beneficial if
It's
it
still,
did?
But you're saying it's not useful.
Right.
I'm saying
I'm just providing
I'm saying it's
another.
more useful just to have a brain.
Okay. I did.
Why give it arms
Okay.
and legs?
I
Why
guess I
take it that
misspoke.
far?
I'm just
Don't give
saying.
it arms and legs.
All right. But would it be more beneficial if it had arms and legs, though? Because
No.
go back the server fire. Go back to the server fire. If the brain can, because or think about the AI in computers that monitor temperature and stuff, and when you start up a game, it's oh, okay, I should favor these cores in the GPU and this core in the CPU.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't have to tell it to do that. It just does it. In that case,
yes.
The AI having
but that doesn't impact life. That doesn't impact human life. That's not putting a human life on the line.
But in some circumstances, these things need to be done immediately.
No, there is no reason, because this is basically just goes back to the movie Pre-Crime. Can you arrest someone? Should you arrest someone before they have committed a crime? No, you should not.
Well,
there is no reason to justify killing someone before a crime has taken place.
Intent.
It doesn't matter.
It's intent.
Because people can change. If you know your fate, you can change, and so by that logic, it is never rational to act upon it before it occurs. Sure, you should go to the person and inform them of this.
I never liked that logic, anyways.
No, because it's immoral. It's immoral to kill
Okay, all right. I'm just saying,
it's immoral.
That an AI that powerful, I know there's a chance it could wipe out humanity. And this is the conversation they're going to have. Somebody is going to come up with a better argument than somebody else in the room for why it should have arms and legs. Which is why my point is, there shouldn't be an AI in the first place, so that conversation should never happen, and that it could never happen.
But think about all the other problems that could help solve, though. Think about other problems that could help solve.
Right. But is the wiping out of humanity because some idiot, because they put an idiot behind defending why it shouldn't?
Yes.
No.
It's always better
hold
for
on.
not.
What I'm saying is they put an idiot behind defending why it shouldn't have arms and legs. And so they put a more intelligent person saying, here's why it should have arms and legs. And well, now the idiot doesn't have a case anymore. And now we've justified to give it arms and legs, and we've wiped out all of humanity.
No. I'm saying that if the intelligent one is justifying arms and legs, I want to know what the rationale is, because I don't see it.
Well,
we just quoted a movie in which was bad. What?
You're not the one making the decision, though. That's the issue.
No, but I wouldn't. I'm just saying, no.
That's
the
why
intelligent one, in
people
my
lose
opinion.
Law
Hang on. In my mind, the intelligent one would come to the rationale that no, this is not a good idea.
What?
If the intelligent one came to the realization that it is a good idea to give it arms and legs, I want to know what his reasoning. Because in my mind, if he's truly the intelligent one, he would come to the opposite realization. He would come to the realization that it should not have arms and legs. And if that's not true, I want to know what that reasoning is.
See, here's the thing, okay? You know how a public defender works? His job, no matter what, is to defend people, okay? Whether he knows it deep down that person actually killed somebody, it is his job with every effort, every fiber of his being to argue that man did not kill him, even though he literally could have seen him shoot the man.
Or they agreed to come to what's it called? It starts with a C, I think. That's another word for like compromise.
You mean impasse?
Agree
to disagree?
No. I think it starts with a C, right?
Either way, here's the thing. We don't know how this committee is going to be structured. What I'm saying is
basically, I think
compromise
will work. It's not the word I'm looking for, but what I'm saying is if the person knows that they killed someone, I think they'd make like a compromise with the judge or whatever.
That's not their job.
No, but I don't, because
that's not their job.
I'm forgetting the legal term, right? There is some way out of it, right?
Again, you just go to the next public defender. If you're like, I can't defend this guy, it goes to the next lawyer. And if there's no more lawyers, somebody has to defend him. Either way, somebody...
I'm looking it up. Because I think there's some way out of it, I'm pretty sure.
For that lawyer... But there's no way out of for any lawyer.
No, I'm saying out of the case entirely.
That would be against your constitutional rights.
Oh, settle. I'm sorry, they'll try to come with a settlement. Because if they know obviously it's in their job to defend them, right? But they'll try to come with some sort of settlement offer instead. Because like you said...
Hey, they don't do settlements in criminal law.
I no.
They do plea bargains.
Let me. Yes. Because if they know what they did,
that's not why they do plea bargains.
It's true, but I'm saying, just let me talk for a second, okay? Don't interrupt. If they know that their client is guilty, and they're basically in a hole, like they're between a rock and a hard place. There's almost no way out of it. I don't know what the term is, settlement for criminal cases.
Plea bargain.
But plea bargain. But they know that it looks bad on their record if they see that they lost a case, and so it's in their best interest to not take it to court, and so they'll try to convince their client to take a plea bargain because it'll help them look better in a sense, because they didn't
right.
technically
But
lose.
that
But in the
doesn't
sense,
work in this situation.
they're still doing justice for the system.
But that doesn't work in this situation. This person is being told, you're the devil's advocate. You can't get out of this. Your job is to convince the other guy to not do it. Whoever
Yeah, but if
presents
they
the
know
best
they
case
can't, they're going to want
wins.
to take. What?
In this situation, it would be, here. What I'm trying to say is there's going to be human error. Somebody's going to give it arms or legs. My justification is don't let it happen in the first place. I know the brain is better for humanity, but humans are going to screw up.
So by that logic, we shouldn't have computers at all. Because people are naturally trying to improve, right? They naturally want better, faster computers. So why not just not have computers at all? Just eliminate everything. No computers, no rational AI thinking, no nothing. There's no reason to if there's no reason to justify having an AI because of what it could do. There's no reason to have computers because of what it could lead to.
Well,
In essence, you're
an
arguing
AI like
we should get rid of everything.
That
We should get rid of
specific
everything.
AI, not AI
No,
in
no, no,
general.
no, no, no.
You can't
I
just
think
diss
that it,
all
no,
AI.
no, no, no. You're
I'm
being
not.
a hypocrite. I think you're being a hypocrite.
No,
if you can't
I'm
allow
just
AI,
saying that
you
AI
can't allow anything.
No, I started this conversation by saying AIs are meant to be specific things. Okay, we're talking about an AI that thinks like a human. I was against one that thought like humans. I want an AI that is its job is to let's talk about a robot that feeds wire through a conduit in a car in a Tesla factory. Okay, its job is to find the wire and feed it through the hole. That is its job. All right, it's specific to that job. So now I'm not against a robot like that. I'm against robots that their specific job is to think like humans and act like humans. I'm against that.
Yes, but that's being a hypocrite.
No, that's the other one's job is to be a robot.
I don't want it to be a robot.
That's my problem. I don't want a robot to be like a person.
Why?
Because people designed it and people have errors. Even though the
but
robot's
no,
flawless, it was designed by
then
people.
No. Hang on. Then you don't understand AI. Look up GPT-3, okay? You'll understand what I'm coming from. Because it can write. You can give it a program, right? AIs can literally be a programmer and write better programs. You can literally.
Yes, I know. I've seen.
You can literally have it write
Google
code.
has one that can do that. Yes, I know.
It can write its own code.
Right, I know.
It can better improve its thinking beyond what any human could do. Because all an AI is just code. It's based off of Python, I think. Right? Well, the AI, if it's smart enough, could rethink its whole thing and fix its code to be more efficient at solving said problems. It's eliminated all the human is just the foundation. The human is the foundation to get it started, to get it going. And then once it's running, it can figure out all the
there's no guarantee that it's going to eliminate the bad seed to begin with.
Yes, but I mean, obviously nothing's perfect, but it will slowly get better and better and better at thinking.
Right, but what's to say it won't wipe out humanity before then?
Because it doesn't have arms and legs.
But what's to say humanity won't give it arms and legs before it gets to the better perfect part?
I'm just saying
what my issue is. The robot, I have no problems with it if it's just a brain. My issue is the idiot that says, hey, let's give it freaking arms and legs. That's my issue.
No, but obviously that's my issue too. I'm not denying that's an issue.
I mean, look at the U.S. with nukes. We got nukes, and the first thing we did was, hey, let's use them.
Yeah, but no, it's not a peace treaty. We don't use them anymore.
It doesn't mean we won't.
It doesn't. Yes, but that would be breaking the peace treaty.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure whoever fires the first missile, whatever happens after that, peace treaties won't matter. It'll be a matter of survival.
Yes, that's the point of a treaty. If you break the treaty, it's all fair games. It's all open fire. You broke the treaty. Yes, that's how treaties work.
If the peace treaty fails, is full anarchy. The peace treaty is just a piece of paper that says, "Oh, we might not do it."
Yes, and that's good enough in the legal system. Yes, obviously, but no. But obviously, there needs to be some benefit to keeping it, right? Everyone's benefiting some way, in some shape or form. Otherwise, yes, there is no reason to keep a peace treaty. It's in their best interest to keep a peace treaty because of the benefits they receive. Everyone's benefiting somehow.
Right.
Otherwise, like you
Again,
said, there's no reason to keep it.
Back to the arms and legs, though. I'm just saying that no matter how perfect your AI is, there's somebody, unless it's AIs interacting with AIs, which it won't be, it will be humans interacting with the AI, and humans are not perfect. We're irrational by definition.
Yes, I know.
Someone is going to give it a stick.
I don't
Whether it
think
chooses
so.
to use that stick, we won't know until it's over.
I don't think so.
It depends when you
That's
give
the
it the
part.
stick.
That's the part.
If the
That's the
AI
part
is
where I'll
perfect,
disagree.
it won't use the stick.
Let's agree to disagree on that specific part. That's what I disagree on.
You think humans will be smart enough to not give it a stick before it's perfect and ready?
No, there'll never become a point where it gets a stick. End of story.
I disagree. I think humanity is stupid
That's what I'm
enough to give
saying.
it a
Let's just
stick.
agree to disagree because I'm saying that point will never happen. That's what I'm saying. To disagree to disagree because I'm saying that point will never happen.
History repeats.
This situation never came up though.
It's a new tool.
Yes, it's something completely new.
Nukes were completely new, and we used
Yes,
them.
and this is something completely new, but this is different. This is variable. There have been variables change in this system, which is why I'm just saying let's just agree to disagree. That you cannot convince me otherwise. Just don't even bother.
Okay. I'm just saying when the day comes and we give it a stick, I'm going to be saying, I told you so.
I don't think that's what I'm saying. Let's agree to disagree.
I'm hoping you're right.
Indefinitely.
I'm hoping you're right.
Yes.
I'm just saying, I think there's a high likelihood that the stick will be given.
And we're identifying stick as AI in charge of nukes.
Not nukes. Anything that could potentially end humanity. You could put it in charge of the satellites.
Well, no, okay, that variable changes then. No.
Or in charge of the power grid.
No.
Actually, the power grid's more believable than nukes.
Then.
Power
You're
grid's
changing
more
the
believable.
Whole thing. No, that's variable change. You can't do that. That doesn't count.
The stick. When I said stick I was just saying nukes because that's the easiest way
I
to
was
understand
defining
global
stick
domination,
as
ending the world. But there are multiple other ways to end the world than just.
We're defining it. Okay, yes, you can see what?
Okay, I honestly putting a AI in charge of the power grid is more believable.
Yes, I will not deny this. I would be that's
than
fine.
the nukes. I would agree
It depends
with you. I
how
don't
you
think we'll
define
ever
arms and
give
legs.
nukes in charge of the give an AI in charge of nukes.
I'm saying putting it in charge of weapons.
Anything is a weapon.
Yes, but some things are more lethal to humanity than others.
True.
Which is why, in my case, I'm saying putting an AI in terms of determining when a nuke should be launched, that day will never happen.
Oh, I agree with you. I don't think we're stupid. I mean, I hope we're
That
not
day will
stupid
never
enough.
happen.
Actually, I can't say with 100% certainty because there are stupid people out
Putting
there.
an AI in charge of when a nuke should be launched is not something I believe we will do.
We put
We're more humane than that.
we put Trump in charge of nuclear codes.
Yes.
And you're gonna think we won't put a robot in charge of nuclear codes?
Yeah. Because a robot won't hesitate. When it pulls the trigger, when it made its decision, when the code comes to the decision,
I was just thinking
it's time,
the robot's smart enough.
A human can hesitate.
I'm just saying
that
that the
brief
robot's smart
hesitation
enough to not use them.
Can save lives.
I'm just saying
That
the
brief
robot's
hesitation
smart enough
can
to
save
not
lives.
use them. I'm saying Donald was dumb enough to use them, and he didn't give a crap to hesitate at all.
But humans can still hesitate, though.
Right.
Whether or not they will, I'm just saying they can. A robot, I don't
I'm just saying we put Donald Trump in charge of nuclear codes. Hell, we gave Biden nuclear codes. I wouldn't have given either one of them nuclear codes. But, yeah.
No.
We did.
Yeah.
Anyways, new segment time. Pumpkin chunkin'. All right, we'll try and make this brief. That last segment went on way too long.
Yeah.
But pumpkin chunkin', go live. So well, let's look at this redneck here, shall we? No, do not copyright strike me, Samsung. All right, I'm just trying to show off rednecks with cannons, okay? Are you watching the screen right now?
No.
Huh?
No.
What you?
Oh, what?
Look
No,
at the
I'm not.
pumpkin
What?
chunkin'. This is what we're discussing. Whether we can beat these guys at their own game.
Oh. Okay.
All right, you watching?
Yeah.
The air cannons. Of course, all those guys are looking for what we refer to as the mythical mile.
The air cannons work by sending a rush of compressed air into the barrel, which rockets the pumpkin out the other end. These cannons can launch pumpkins over 4,000 feet, about the length of 11 football fields. And this year, current record holder Second Amendment is gunning for the mile mark at 5,280 feet.
Current world record is 4,434 feet. In practice last weekend, we shot one over 5,000 feet.
Another team going for gold today is Team Chucky, a team that will be competing in the Torsion Catapult division.
Torsion catapult is what most people think of when they think of like an old-fashioned Roman catapult. And what it is, there's a bundle of rope that gets twisted, and tension gets put into it, and so the rope becomes a torsion spring. And it's that tension stored in the bundle of twisted rope that makes the arm go forward.
Anyways, so that's pumpkin chunkin'.
Mm-hmm.
Questions? Comments?
You
Concerns?
say chunking or chucking? Is there an
Chunkin'.
N?
Chunkin.
Chunkin. Oh, they do say chunkin.
Mm-hmm.
I say you said without an N.
Chunkin'?
Chuckin.
Yeah, that's how I would think they would say it, but no, it's chunkin'. It's to rhyme. Technically, it's pumpkin chucking, but to make it well, it's not rhyme. It's alliterate. Well, no, it is a rhyme and alliteration.
It is a rhyme.
And alliteration.
Well, I thought alliteration was the same letter it starts with. Like Sally sells seashores by
That's
the
consonant.
seashells by the seashore.
So that's
It's
consonants.
the same letter. It all starts with the same letter.
That's consonants. Same. Yeah, it's consonants.
It could still be a vowel, right? You could still start with an A, right?
It's just called consonants. Alliteration is the repeating of a sound, not necessarily a rhyme, because a rhyme.
No, it is the same letter. The occurrence of the same letter at the beginning of a word.
Consonants or alliteration?
What? Alliteration. No, it's the same. The occurrence of the there's no. It's no. Consonants has nothing to do with it. It could be a vowel if it wants to be a vowel. The occurrence of the same letter at the beginning.
Okay,
What?
okay, I was wrong. All right.
Yes.
I thought
I said-
alliteration was just the repetition of a sound within multiple words, whether they were at
No.
the end or not.
No. Well, I took a class. I took 2 classes on linguistics. Okay, I know what I'm talking about.
All right.
I should.
I know. I was just sorry. That's what I thought it was. You didn't have to be like, it's this, it's not that. Constant.
Well, I got a little pissed off because you were insisting that it was wrong, and I took 2 classes, and I got a little ticked off. Sorry.
Well, I was kind of hoping you were.
You were
Google
the
says
fact
this.
that you were.
But
The fact
anyways,
that you were questioning what I was telling you was.
well,
yeah,
I was just
sorry.
thinking is what I thought I said, but I was wrong. All right. Sorry.
Which is why I was trying to inform you.
And you did. So what's the repetition of a sound then?
Rhyme.
I thought that was always at the end though.
It does. A rhyme can be wherever.
Really?
If there's one for an end, then I don't know what it is. I think rhymes are typically at the end, but I mean maybe I can go at the beginning.
Okay.
Rhymes are typically made at the end.
Between words or the endings. Oh, right here. Yeah, you're right. Corresponds to sounds between words or the endings of words.
Yeah.
Especially when these are used at the ends of lines in poetry.
Yeah. Because people typically remember the ending of a word, and so it flows better.
I'm blaming my high school English teachers. They were crap anyways, so.
You need to take a professional course.
I would never make it past the first day. My grammar is terrible. But anyways, so
Which is why you learn.
So Pumpkin Chunkin. Questions, comments, concerns. How we're gonna beat these schmucks.
Well, we already talked about this. We can.
Oh, I thought you questioned whether or not we'd actually be able to do the not necessarily hydrogen, but at least the vacuum anyways.
I'm sure there's rules in place. I mean, I haven't looked into this, but I mean, I'm sure there's some sort of rules around what is allowed and what's not allowed in competition. Because they might want to keep things as old school as possible, so any sort of electronics, because obviously to create a vacuum you need some sort of electronics.
Well, no, not
That's
necessarily. They're using air compressors to fill these up. It's just a vacuum.
Oh wait, they're using air compressors?
Those were pneumatic. Those were pneumatic air cannons.
Oh, they're catapults though that we saw.
No, there were two different. Let me show you the video again.
Oh, was there air compressors?
You must have tuned in at the end.
I did.
Yeah, here. We'll start.
Veritable arms race. Today, 100 teams are stationed on the front line, preparing to see how far their self-designed weapons can launch a pumpkin.
Oh, there's a
280-acre cornfield.
In 1986, there were 4 guys sitting around the local blacksmith shop discussing medieval games, specifically anvil tossing. They rapidly found out that was rough on the back and shoulders, so they decided they could build a machine to throw it. Anvils were expensive. They bought pumpkins. Then here we are 21 years later throwing pumpkins at the World Championship Pumpkin Chunkin.
The machines range from high school physics projects made from junkyard scraps to high-tech blasters that can cost upwards of $200,000. Although explosives are forbidden across the board, many of these machines still pack quite a punch. Because of the wide variety of contraptions, the competition is divided into different classes.
What we consider the big boys of the competition are the air cannons. Of course, all those guys are looking for what we refer to as the mythical mile.
The air cannons work by sending a rush of compressed air.
Yeah, okay, so actually I'm reading the rules right now. Rule number 2, general rules. All pumpkins fired must remain intact until they impact the ground.
Yeah, I know.
So you cannot fire. So if your pumpkin obliterates as it hits the air, which creating a vacuum, I'm picturing it would, because there's so much force of air going from vacuum to no air, that it would obliterate, and that would violate the rules.
True. Doesn't mean we can't try.
Yeah.
Plus, there's people. I didn't talk about this. So there's this one guy at the competition who.
No explosives are allowed.
No, explosives are not.
They're not allowed.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Just hope your hydrogen doesn't combust.
Yeah.
But what was? So, well, there was this guy who's been breeding pumpkins for like the last 20 years, since this competition started. So that they were long and cylindrical, so they could fit down the tube. And they'd be like a bullet. So,
this kind of impacts the vacuum thing. Is it has to be fired within 3 minutes.
Oh.
So you cannot spend more than 3 minutes making your vacuum.
That.
I haven't kept reading, so I don't know if a vacuum is still allowed. but 3 minutes would affect your vacuum thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I mean, these guys are pulling $200,000 to do this. So, I mean, unless you got some NASA grade stuff, I don't know if you could pull a vacuum of that large of a space.
I mean, you can remove air in 3 minutes. It's just a matter of how low do you want it to be? How low are you content with it being before you start running your clock?
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, not to mention you have to load the damn pumpkin too. So you'd probably want to set up some sort of bolt system because I mean, you know.
Oh, there's another rule about firing too far. You are only given a 10-minute thing, a 10-minute timer to find your pumpkin after it's been fired. If it's found later, after 10 minutes, it's not counted. All pumpkins must be found in 10 minutes.
Can you stick a GPS tracker in the pumpkin?
Yeah, I suppose that solves it. Yeah,
That would easily solve your
that's
issue.
that's probably what they do. I'm just saying that's
what I would
that's
do.
what it said. Yeah.
Wow, they really thought of that. Maybe that's why no one's tried the vacuum is because it just takes too long to pull it.
Yeah, and also it risks blowing up.
The pumpkin, yeah. However, I've seen guys they do a sheath around the pumpkin of foam, so that it's more so it sits in there more aerodynamic. Mythbusters have talked about it. They've done it before for a myth. They wrap Buster in foam. Something with like
It's a traveling trophy.
What's that mean?
It means that it's not a trophy you keep. It means that you hold on to it, and then you have to return it the next year. And if you win, you gotta still hold on to it, but you have to bring it back to every event. Yeah, cross country had those. I think a lot of sports have that.
That just
basically, but it's kind of a prestige award though, because it's one thing to have a trophy, from 10 years ago. 20 years ago, because that means, you used to be good. You're not really good anymore. But if you have a traveling trophy, that means that you are top line. You are really good.
Oh, yeah.
Currently, because you have the trophy from the last event. And it's in your best interest to then remain to keep it that way. You want to keep the traveling trophy.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's kind of a prestigious thing.
It encourages innovation.
It does, because people want to try and steal it. And it's in and everyone is going to be trying to, take it. So.
Anyways, so back to the pumpkin. You know what? They might not allow GPS trackers on the pumpkins.
Yeah, could be.
Because
they have the 10-minute award, 10-minute timer.
Well,
there's no reason for the timer if they have GPS or what?
No, because why? Okay, somebody could add lead shot to the pumpkin.
What's the significance of that?
So it cuts through the air easier.
Oh yeah, maybe you can't alter the pumpkin in any way.
Mm-hmm.
They probably give you the pumpkin right on the spot,
Well, no, you can bring your own pumpkins. The one guy does. You just can't modify them. They have to be completely unscathed, which would probably prevent a GPS tracker. But, yeah. So, once again, I don't know. I'd be genuinely curious. I mean, I'd suppose give the sport, another 20 years. I mean, who knows? You might see, since the pneumatics might be pushing the limits, they might start trying vacuums. Hello? Am I talking to myself now?
I still hear you.
Oh, you just weren't responding.
I did. I said hello.
I didn't hear it. Sorry. If you're talking right now, I'm not hearing you.
No, I'm not talking right now.
Oh, okay. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, I guess there's probably maybe more competition. I don't know. I feel like the pumpkin chunkin's probably kind of reached its limit, unless you can like breed a pumpkin that's more resistant to those air pressures and stuff. There was
I'm
a
sorry, what?
so unless you design a
Oh, yeah, they have another rule. So this is part of their adult classes. So I'm still reading this. Their rules are, I think it's only 12 pages. Air classes. Only atmospheric air compressed by compressor on site is approved. Under no circumstances shall any other gases, including but not limited to nitrogen, helium, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, etc., be used or separated on site. Maximum air pressure used for tank cannot exceed 150 psig, pounds. What is that? Pounds per square inch?
That's probably a safety thing.
Pound parts per square inch. Yeah.
That's probably a safety thing. Wouldn't you think?
What?
Well, other than the other airs, because that would allow you to, well, literally destroy the competition.
Well, yeah. Well, see, my point is that they have to put some sort of regulations on the limit, otherwise.
But there's still.
Yes, there is still a safety aspect to it. Absolutely.
I know, but there's still nothing about vacuums.
I haven't. I'm still reading. I still have like 5 pages left.
There has to be something, because why has nobody tried? And my question is, if you're only limited to 150 psi, I mean, how much? A pumpkin can only go so far, then.
I'm wondering if the pressure breaks the pumpkin. That's my. I haven't approved.
I know, but if 150 psi is the max, I just feel like that feels limiting. That feels very limiting. But the no other gases, yeah, that one would, yeah, I like that rule. I like that rule because everyone would probably use nitrogen. Some schmuck would probably try and use helium or hydrogen. Hydrogen would probably blow himself up. Helium, he'd just burn $1 million in helium and ruin the scientific community because he used helium. And no one would ever like him ever again. But, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, pumpkin chunkin, unless he finds the rule.
So what if I just control?
Yeah.
Oh, they don't have the word vacuum.
Really?
The word vacuum does not appear in these general rules.
You know what that
I said control F for vacuum.
You know what that means?
I mean, it'd still probably be something you'd want to check with them before you just hop. Because, I mean, you'd hate to just start building this and then go there and say, yeah, we can't allow this because of the vacuum. You'd probably want to call them.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to invest several $100,000 into this thing, yeah, obviously you're going to want to make a phone call. You don't want to just start building the thing. Next thing you know, hey, you can't do that. Oh dear. Wow, that is. I wonder, man. Then I've got so many questions for those guys. So it's just
What?
luck then.
What?
Well, if 150 psi is the max, and let's say you're.
It's all about your design.
I guess, but I mean, air cannon can only be so complicated. There's only so much that can be changed. Let's see, you can change the yoke, barrel length.
No, but I mean, you could obviously you can change because so you can have 150 pounds per square inch pressurized, right? But then you can have it funnel off, like have the air funnel through, so it's technically going through an even smaller volume.
Oh.
You know how like you have an air tank and then have it funnel down. What is it called? What's a valve that like forces the air through a smaller volume?
A yoke. I was just talking about that.
A yoke, Y-O-K-E.
I don't know how it's the choke, not choke, yoke.
Choke.
It's choke. The Mythbusters in the Supersonic Ping Pong Ball episode, they made a choke, which is why I've never been able to replicate it because I can't make a choke. Otherwise, I would love to replicate the Supersonic Ping Pong Ball cannon and try and break their record.
Yeah, a choke.
But I can't make a choke. Because I lack the skills and the tools.
Oh yeah, PVC pipe is also not allowed.
That's
So
a
you'd have to cut it and form it.
Well, no.
But basically, what I'm saying is that you have
PVC
a
pipe's
valve
a
like
danger.
a choke. Yeah, but you have a valve, right? That where it funnels it down. I don't know where you have to test the pressure. I mean, I'm sure it's just if you test it from the back, then you could theoretically reach a higher pressure to push the pumpkin.
I'm sure. Well, then you got to worry about the pumpkin being.
Yeah, see,
you got the air
so then
coming
you
out
can
of a hole that
you
big.
feather it. You can practice and feather it to find that line.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, you get air coming out of a hole that big.
I mean, obviously you can. Well, no. I was thinking you have the air funnel down to the pumpkin size, and you have this massive air canister. That's
You gotta
even
fill it in
bigger.
3 minutes, though.
Do you, or can you come with it pre-pressurized?
No, you have to fill it in 3 minutes.
Oh, you do fill.
I would assume so. That's a part of preparation.
Yeah.
I mean, if they let you that's the thing, though. They have to test it. Because you can't bring nitrogen. And that'd be a way to sneak nitrogen in. Or hydrogen.
Mm-hmm.
Is to have a pre-pressurized tank. Because how are you supposed to check that?
Yeah.
Compressed air looks the same as nitrogen coming out the end.
No, I know.
Only difference would be the water vapor. That'd be a way to test. But if you have a filter, it looks the same. Which I guess they wouldn't allow if you had a filter. I'm sure it's a part of the 3 minutes. But anyways, speaking of 3 minutes, this is going to be our longest podcast ever. But anyways, I would like to think...
Oh! What if you had it pressurized on a catapult, right? So you have the catapult pushing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as it's pushing, you have it pressurized, right? To force the pumpkin, right? So it's going to shoot out of the long barrel. But then you have the whole apparatus on an even longer shaft that's on a catapult. So it's pushing the pressurized air connected to the pumpkin all through the same line, giving it even greater velocity. And then obviously you have like some sort of stopper to prevent the pressurized air tank leaving with the pumpkin. And then the pumpkin leaves, being forced by the pressurized air as well as a catapult.
There's an easier way to do that.
What's that?
They have a centrifugal category.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
You can just, whip it around?
Yep. Just spin that pumpkin up. Literally, what you are limited by at that point is the G-forces on the pumpkin as you're spinning it around, so it doesn't just smash the pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
That would be your...
I wonder what you probably stand pretty far away. Like, if you have it released, think about this. If you have it released 180 degrees. Too early or too late? You have an issue.
Yeah, you got a
180
pumpkin coming
degrees.
towards your head at a speed that is...
180 degrees, too early or too late. You have an issue, my friend.
Yeah. I think there's a limit on the speed of those. There has to. There has to be a limit on those because those could easily beat the air cannons. Easily. Right? In theory, they should easily beat the air cannons.
Yeah.
Yeah, the centrifugal category, that's the dangerous one. Compressed air, you just get a big, thick tank. Centrifuge. Well, it's a spinning metal disc. Oh, God.
Where do you stand for that?
A mile away.
No, I was going to say right under it.
Yeah.
Because it either right under it or a mile away.
Yeah. Yeah. You either stand right. The thing you have
right under it or
the thing is you gotta go find your pumpkin.
What?
Thing is you gotta go find your pumpkin.
We just gotta drive at least 60 miles an hour, then you can cover a mile in a minute.
Oh, that is the you have 10 minutes though.
10 minutes. You don't want to waste your time driving to the catapult. Either that or you stand a mile away from the catapult in the direction it's firing.
Yeah, until a pumpkin comes hurtling at you, you're just like, what's that noise? Just destroys your gator, and you're just like, I found my pumpkin.
Found it. You found it.
I don't know if there has to be a limit on those centrifuges. Maybe that's the category. Screw the vacuum and air compressors. Centrifuge.
I can't find my earbuds.
You sound better now.
My headphones just died. Hang on, you're being loud.
Well, we gotta end the podcast. Anyway.
Shush. Okay, let's end it now.
Anyways, I'd like to go for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. He just left. New podcast every other Friday, 11 a.m. Central Time. And good night. Jesus, this was long.